Hi, happy Monday. Does the name Monty Lopez mean anything to you? That's great. Me neither. So Addison Rae's dad, Monty Lopez, has been gaining a ton of traction on TikTok in the past month following some drama in his life. I know, this is what my channel has become. I am a TikTok drama channel now. And at first I actually wanted this video to be about Monty Lopez going up against Mark D'Amelio and seeing which TikTok dad is worse, but the more I read about Monty, the more I realized I could fill an entire video with just him. But don't worry, we will circle back to Mark later. But first, let's meet this cast of quirky characters that makes up Monty's life. But before we do that, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, just go down there and take 2 seconds to do it. First and foremost, we have Monty himself, and I know what you're thinking, don't worry. This guy sounds like a Nickelodeon cartoon character that wears a little Indiana Jones hat and he fights reanimated skeletons in ancient tombs. That's what you were thinking, right? But no, Monty Lopez is the father of the insanely successful TikTok star Addison Rae. And he is 46 years old. You're going to want to remember that number, 46. It's going to be useful later in this story. Next up, we have Sherry Easterling, Addison Rae's mom and Monty's wife. Now, Monty and Sherry had an on and off marriage over the course of the past 20 years. And although they're married right now, they are currently separated. And I also can't believe that I am saying these things in a video of mine. I feel kind of like an idiot right now, but I promise you this story is important. It's more important than just like a weird dad. Now, the other two minor players in this game, and they're not like actually minors, just so you know, that would make this story a lot worse. One of them is Renee Ash, who is a 25-year-old influencer, and the other one is Young Gravy, who is a rapper. Yeah, no, I don't get it either. Before I get into this, I need to make the disclaimer that I don't actually know any of these people, as surprising as that may be. I'm not kicking it with Monty every single day. And Addison and I, well, there was like a little bit of a falling out. We're all good though. We're on good terms. For the most part, I'm going to try to leave Addison out of this since this video is more about the creepier, weird things her dad has done, and I don't think she should be criticized for the actions of her parents. Matter of fact, it must be terrifying to have this much drama about your father online, so I don't envy her at all, and this video is not to make fun of her in any way. So basically, let's jump into the tea of it all, okay? In July of this year, Renee Ash, the 25-year-old influencer, came out and said that she and Monty had a 5-month-long relationship while Monty was still married to Sherry. Now, Renee said that Monty claimed he was in the process of getting divorced from Sherry, but his bio on Instagram still said that he was married to her. God, these are like grown-ass adults. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Now, this whole situation is obviously very weird to me. The cheating, the age gap that is old enough to buy a beer, but the worst part is they look the same. For 5 months, Monty dated someone who looked very similar and was like way closer in age to his very successful and famous daughter. Now, when this relationship ended, Renee put out a series of stories that included texts between her and Monty where he talked about how much money they were going to make from his relationship with his daughter, which is absolutely disgusting and I hate it. But we're going to touch on that later in this video. Now, since Renee came forward about her relationship with Monty, a ton of other people have come forward sharing videos of Monty hitting on a 19-year-old at a club and flirting over FaceTime with another 19-year-old girl. And I know exactly what you're thinking. Where does Young Gravy fit into all of this? That's probably not what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, what a creep. I hate this guy. This is disgusting. But were you also wondering where Young Gravy fits into all of this? Because I'm here to help you out with that. So from what I can gather, this all started in late July following Renee and Monty's affair. On July 21st, Young Gravy posted a TikTok saying that he's coming back to America and he's ready to, in his words, make some whoopee and butter the biscuits.
Trying to butter the biscuit, plant the parsnip, bake the potato, do a little horizontal hokey pokey.
Now, I could probably talk about Young Gravy using the term make some whoopee for the rest of this video, but that's like not even the 9th craziest thing to happen in this whole entire situation. So a few days later, Addison's mom, Sherry, stitched Young Gravy's video and did this.
Make some whoopee, you feel me? Trying to butter the biscuit.
Guys, This is horny on main. Like horny on main to the 11th degree. This is like what we're trying to avoid. Why are we enabling this behavior with a grown woman? Do you see how fast and how aggressively she grabbed those biscuits off the shelf? She's in a rush. She's horny. Then, just 2 days after that, Tana Mongeau and Young Gravy made a TikTok together, and Sherry stitched that TikTok. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I do think that this is kind of funny, okay? Just because of how absurd it is for her to bake that many biscuits and then follow through like days later. So she either still had the biscuits that she cooked from days before, or she cooked a whole nother batch just to toss it in the trash can for the TikTok. Either way, it's funnier than what Monty's doing, and I'll give her props for just leaning into the bit, I guess. Now, I definitely find it a little icky that Sherry is capitalizing so hard on this Young Gravy crush, especially given their 16-year age gap. But Young Gravy was going along with it, and he even said that they were going on a date soon, so it all seemed pretty lighthearted. For the most part, at least, because a week or two later, Monty made a TikTok asking Young Gravy to box him. Let's take a look at that.
Appreciate all the likes. I'm even gonna give a shout out to Young Gravy's fans. But Young Gravy needs to watch running his mouth talking about all those MILFs out there, because all those MILFs got some daddies. Man, there's some baby daddies, and those baby daddies, some of them are equally as bad as me. Some of them are badder, some of them can't come close. So watch him out when you're slapping your gums, bro. What I'm really worried about is my two boys going to school and getting picked on because Young Gravy wants to hook up with their mama. What I want them to do is go to school and get praised because Young Gravy's about to get knocked down in the boxing ring by the daddy. So be watching yourself, man. Watch what you say, bro. You ain't no rapper, man. Clean that up, man. You a singer. Go clean your bio up, bro. You ain't no rapper. You a fake rapper. Peace.
Now, right out the gate, I have so many things I have to say about this video, okay? First off, if I was Mr. Gravy, I would be 100 feet deep in my underground bunker because there is nothing more intimidating and off-putting than the backdrop of this video. You've got the Vector from Despicable Me tapestry, the Chuck E. Cheese carpet he taped to the wall, the squishmallows that are surrounding him. I mean, I'm shaking in my little boots over here, and I'm not even Young Gravy. But seriously, I don't know whose room he's shooting in, but it's like very bizarre that he decided to shoot his call-out video from this room. And it definitely mirrors the level of maturity that Monty is displaying towards a 26-year-old rapper named Young Gravy. But I mean, for all we know, this could just be Monty's new girlfriend's room. Now, Monty goes on to say that his sons are being bullied because a fake rapper wants to have sex with their mom. Now, I'm sure he's right about this because his son's bullies have homeroom with Monty's girlfriend, so I'm sure that he's hearing about it firsthand. And in general, I just find it really odd for a grown man to rope his children into this drama to like win some sort of sympathy. And honestly, it's just kind of sad to me to see Monty use his own daughter as a crutch so more people can know who he is and so he can be more famous. And I see Sherry doing the same thing and I don't like it, but it's way more subtle when she does it. But the craziest thing that he does in this video is obviously challenging Young Gravy to a boxing match. And I kind of love how TikTok boxing matches have become the norm for two people to settle any sort of conflict they have over themselves, because 90% of the time they don't even happen, because funny enough, there are a lot of legal hoops you have to jump through in order to publicly air a physical fight between two people. And I don't really think Monty has the event planning skills to put on the next creator clash. And this whole thing with Monty calling out Young Gravy on TikTok is like the equivalent of some old man running onto his porch to yell, "Why I oughta," at the local neighborhood kids. But in this case, the neighborhood kids want to have sex with your wife. Now, Young Gravy actually responded to this challenge with a message of his own.
Shout out to Young Gravy's fans. But Young Gravy...
Do I ever love my fans, baby? Man, I've seen at least 40 people with my signature tattooed on them. It's been a while since I've seen someone with this much dedication, you know, this much time on their hands to get my attention and show love. And
Young Gravy clearly shuts down the idea and just like brushes off Monty as a fan, which is, I think, the best thing you could do in that situation. Now, any normal person would let shame kick in and take a step back for the sake of themselves and their entire family that's online, but I don't know if you remember, but Monty is not a normal person. He goes on to make yet another video where he looks like he blew too much air into his anchor arms, but before they exploded, he challenges Young Gravy to another fight. This time, Gravy's response was a little bit more firm and direct, saying that he's not going to fight Monty over TikTok drama, and that he acts half Addison's age and embarrasses his whole family because of it.
You got one of the most successful daughters in the world, and you decide to act half her age to try to get some attention while embarrassing your whole family.
So I finished making this video when I saw something I had to include. A couple weeks ago, Monty was actually on the Hollywood Fix giving his input on the Young Gravy boxing match. Now, I've heard the smaller celebrities sometimes pay people like the Hollywood Fix to show up and be a paparazzi for them so they can look like they have clout, and I have no doubt that this is what Monty did here. How else would this 40-year-old blogger find out where Addison Rae's dad was eating dinner, and also why would he care? Monty comes out of the restaurant with an entourage of people that are half his age, and of course he immediately addresses the paparazzi because he was the one that asked them to be there.
Hey, what do you think about Young Gravy talking to Sherry Nicole, Monty?
Look, I got something for Young Gravy, man. He likes to talk a lot of smack, and he's talking trash.
Monty then embarrasses himself with the most out-of-touch trash talking I've ever seen, making a joke out of himself in front of all the teenagers that he paid to be there. Especially this one. She was laughing a little bit too hard at Monty's jokes.
Let's get into this ring. Let's get in the ring and solve it like men. Look, you like apples? How you like them apples?
Oh, wow.
Come on, little Gravy.
Hey,
Open your mouth so I can shut it.
Are you serious, Monty? You get in the ring with him?
You know I will.
The paparazzi quickly realizes that there isn't much else to ask Monty, so he asks him about Young Gravy like way too many times.
Hey, what do you think about Young Gravy? If you fight Young Gravy, hey man, do you have a message for Young Gravy? How do you feel about Young Gravy? Any message for Young Gravy?
And then this 40-year-old blogger, you know, Fletcher Green of the Hollywood Fix, follows Monty to his next location and asks him about his 21-year-old daughter's swimsuit controversy, which I don't know a lot about, but it seems really important to this 40-year-old man named Fletcher Green.
What do you think about this Addison swimsuit controversy, man? Hey, did you hear Christina Aguilera wore the same swimsuit as Addison getting a backlash for? Hey, Monty, any comment on Addison's swimsuit controversy? Do you think that the swimsuit was disrespectful, Monty?
There's this other Hollywood Fix video from 2 weeks ago where Monty comes out of the car with a girl who's almost 20 years younger than him, and he spends the whole video saying that Young Gravy is a singer and not a rapper, while walking way too far in front of the people that he's with before he just walks into an empty bar.
So I wouldn't say he's not a rapper. I mean, I would say he's not a rapper, he's a singer. Good music, I guess, if you're into that kind of thing, but at the end of the day, he ain't got no street credit.
And as much as I need to escape from this paparazzi channel ran by this 40-year-old man whose name is Fletcher Green, I have to address his Hollywood Fix video from months ago where he brags about buying a house in the metaverse and then burning it down in celebration of his daughter signing a movie deal.
Did you guys do anything to celebrate?
Man, actually, I bought a house in the metaverse. I bought an ocean mansion.
No.
Hey, oddly, I burned it down the same day.
You bought what kind of mansion?
Ocean mansion. House mansion.
House mansion?
House mansion.
What's that, an NFT?
It's it's an NFT.
And he also takes shots at Soulja Boy for burning down the first house in the metaverse.
Yeah, who burns a house in the metaverse? Hey, I'll tell you what. Tell Soulja Boy I burnt the first house in the metaverse.
I didn't really know that about Soulja Boy. I don't keep up with him, but I don't really think he's gonna see this message from Monty, because not only is Monty significantly less famous than him, but he only pulls 12,000 views on Hollywood Fix, which is a channel that has over 2 million subscribers. So I just don't know how relevant he really is. He also did this interview with this podcast, but I'm just not gonna go through all of that right now. I think I'm gonna watch it on stream after this video is uploaded, and it should be up on the second channel sometime next week. But let's get back to the video.
Now, how is it that the two youngest people in this situation, Young Gravy and Addison Rae, are acting more mature than two people in their 40s? Well, personally, I think Young Gravy hit the nail on the head when he said that Monty was just doing this all for... Now, this whole situation with Monty Lopez points to the larger issue of parents extorting their child's fame to their advantage. or it's just pointing to the fact that they have no interest in protecting their children from predators since they can be predatory themselves. Now, Sherry and Monty had Addison pretty young in their lives, so to me this just seems like this desperate attempt to cling to their youth, but in the process they've kind of just humiliated their daughter and the rest of their family in front of the entire world. Now, don't get me wrong, Monty is absolutely more in the wrong in this situation than Sherry. I mean, he cheated on her, he flirted and dated girls that were way too young for him, and he tried to fight a rapper over his almost ex-wife. He even texted his ex-girlfriend or whatever and said that they were gonna make a shit ton of money off of the fact that Addison is his daughter, which is not only shitty and scummy, but it's also extremely sad. Now, to have your own parents talk about your fame and success behind your back in a way that feels entitled and exploitative is beyond wrong, and I can't imagine being in a position where your parents aren't really supporting your career, but doing everything they can to make it about them so they can reap the benefits from it. But that's not to say that Sherry isn't also taking advantage of Addison's fame as well. Now, in comparison to Monty, it might not seem like much, but this behavior from parents of influencers to include themselves in the mix so they can become influencers is gross and it's weird. Now, I don't know where the norm or the idea came from that these parents are like invited to the party, but I think we should start being more ageist and get these losers out of here. Who's with me? But to be serious, I do feel really bad for Addison and her brothers that have to see their parents lampooned on a daily basis or even come under fire themselves for things that their parents did. Addison Rae doesn't even follow either of her parents on Instagram anymore, and I don't blame her. Now, there's definitely something to be said about the fact that Addison and other TikTok stars like the D'Amelios were basically children when they became famous, and their parents now get to live out their teenage fantasies through their daughters. And you can definitely see that with Addison's mom as well, even if it's not in the same predatory way that her dad is doing it. Now, a parent who is genuinely interested in protecting their child would make sure their privacy is valued instead of, I don't know, signing the entire family up for a Keeping Up with the Kardashians ripoff that profits off the mental breakdown of one of their own children. And although Mark and Heidi D'Amelio aren't making a spectacle of themselves the same way that Addison's parents are, they are still grossly benefiting from the rapid success of their daughters. And this isn't really what this video is about, but I try to point out when I can that in 2014, Mark D'Amelio got a DUI because he was driving drunk with Charlie D'Amelio, who was 9 years old at the time, in the front seat, and he went to a bodega and picked up 3 strangers and put them in the backseat of his car and drove drunk with all of them in the car. And he also thinks that he's not white because he's Italian, which is interesting. But let's get back to the exploitation of their children. I mean, Heidi and Charlie are about to compete against each other on Dancing with the Stars. Why is her mom on the show? I don't know. And it is clear to me that fame and greed has clouded these parents' better judgment, leading to even more undeserved public ridicule of their very young daughters. Recently, there's been a lot of conversation online about Jeanette McCurdy's new book, which opened up a lot of discourse around child stars, and it's really interesting seeing this whole Monty Lopez scenario play out through that lens. Now, Addison and Charlie and Dixie aren't kids anymore, but I do think that enforcing some sort of child labor laws when it comes to social media would prevent parents from extorting their children's status for fame. It's bizarre to me that the parents of kids like Ryan Toy Reviews are able to raise their child online and work him as many hours as they want, but when you go to network TV, they actually have laws in place that prevent that from happening. But it's very obvious that platforms like TikTok or YouTube don't make an effort to make sure that kids aren't being exploited online by their parents. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I'm challenging every social media app to a boxing match until they enforce some sort of child labor laws to help kids not be exploited by their parents online. Oh, yeah, right. I'm challenging every social media app to a boxing match until they enforce some child labor laws on it. Hey, thank you for watching this video. On the screen, you should see 2 other videos that I think you should check out. Make sure you comment, subscribe, like, and do all that other stuff. That helps my videos do well. And I want to give a special thanks to my writer, Sid, and my editor, Owen, for making this video possible. They have worked on the past 3 videos that I've made, and they're really making it possible here over at the Nick is Not Green studio. Anyways, that's all for me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!